Welcome everybody to the Focus Podcast. I am Singinlisa, and I'm excited anytime I can bring somebody special to you because I know a lot of people who have big hearts that do great things to just make a difference in the lives of people. And so I am spotlighting a very special lady. She is our Councilwoman Cyndi Nguyen of District E. Woo, woo. And of course, we are excited because that's a big district. And I mean, I think they should change it to district everywhere.
Oh my God, I love that. I love that, Lisa. That is. And you know what, Lisa, just on that note, for the past I feel like it's been forever, but for the past 6 or 7 weeks, just the amount of work that we've been doing, I could feel it in my legs. My car is definitely feeling it in reference to the mileage that we're adding on.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I could contest that it is a very large district.
And tell everybody who just may be seeing this from another side of the world, what does your district consist of?
Yes, so District E is where family always comes first, by the way.
Go.
And District E consists of the East, in which the East, Lisa, is large. So part of the East is District E. And there's a good part of the East is also District D.
Oh.
And so if you're familiar with the streets in New Orleans, so kind of like Downman is kind of like our boundary lines. But not everything on Downman belongs to me. Most of the stuff that belongs on Downman belongs to my colleague, Sherry Brissette.
Okay.
And then I go all the way to the low 9. So there's the low 9 and there's the upper 9. And so the upper 9 is not in my district. It's just the low 9. But then going back to the east, going further east, we have Lake Catherine and Fort Pike. So when you look at land mass, we are the largest district in the city of New Orleans. I am representing close to over 80,000 residents, which is really unrealistic, Lisa, when you think about it. I know I've been called, Superwoman, go to different places. I'm at 5 different places at the same time. People feel that way. But it is a very large district and not equally represented. And that's why we've been pushing really hard for the census, Lisa, to make sure that everybody's counted. So in that way, when you talk about representation, if everybody is counted, then we could then divide the district equally. Because right now, District E, I'm representing roughly about 20 to 30,000 more residents compared to my colleagues.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, I do understand why people say they see you everywhere because you have such a large area and you are definitely making a huge effort, and I would say successfully, in making sure everybody sees your face at some point. They know that you're out there. We see you doing things and the team just really hitting the ground, making a difference. And I mean, ever since you were elected, 2018, you have just hit the ground running. And it just seems like you've been with us longer than that, which is a good thing, but you've been doing a lot, and I know you're making it a point, especially we've already had situations that I know you and the city council were working on and dealing with and trying to come to solutions about, but then we get hit with this virus, and so now life has shifted immediately for everybody into just safety mode. And so I want to say that you were already doing Facebook Lives every week, and so now you have shifted to literally doing Facebook Lives every single day. So what prompted you to do that?
Yeah, so the Facebook Live came up, and not knowing what we were dealing with around COVID-19, and I told my team, I said, listen, I've done disaster before, so this is not my first rodeo dealing with disaster. And as a city, we every summer we go through a hurricane season, and so there's potential of devastation. And so keeping people engaged, something that I think is really important no matter what's going on in the city, and making sure that people connect with you. And so that's why I decided immediately that we're going to do Facebook Live, and it was going for 7 days a week. Most recently, I started doing from Sunday to Friday, giving myself a Saturday evening off.
Yes.
I wanted to make sure that we wanted 7 days a week at the beginning, because, when something new happened, people has, questions, the same question at different times. Right. And so you want to make sure that you are accessible. And we were looking at just different, and I think it was just how do we stay connected to our constituent. And Facebook
Absolutely.
that I control, right?
Yeah.
I don't need to call the media up and say, hey, can you like put me on air every day? Give me an hour. If not, I may need 2 hours if there's buku questions.
Mm-hmm.
And so Facebook Live allow us the flexibility to connect with our constituent at really no cost,
Mm-hmm.
you know. And right now, as you know, the city of New Orleans is not generating the revenue that we have been. And so I'm also mindful of my expense. You know, even though as a council member, I have a small budget of about 30,000, but we have not spent that money,
Mm-hmm.
you know, making sure that we're, very responsible. And so everything that we've been doing has been through donation, through just being creative. The hookup concept is there,
Absolutely.
getting hooked up, right? Getting things
Yeah.
done. I think the
Mm-hmm.
most important thing is getting the things done for the people.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so and honestly, Lisa, the Facebook Live have also given me some sort of, it's like a therapy session for me too. And people ask me, it's like, don't you get tired? I was like, yeah, I do, but talking to you guys every day allow me to debrief.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it
Yeah,
also
because many people tell
right?
you take a break.
Exactly. And it also gives me a sense like, how are you guys doing? Because I really do care. I want to know what's going on. I want to know what you guys are struggling, because it bothers me when people can't connect. And that's why I've been very big on, and my staff will contest to this. I am very anal when I get a call from somebody and they say, well, I called Miss Terry and she did not call me back. Terry and I are very good friends. We've been friends for 15 years. She's also my chief of staff.
Mm-hmm.
But Terry knows that no matter what, she still got to do her job.
Mm-hmm.
Same with Monica, same with Kelly, same with Miss Mary, same with Victoria. Because I said that I didn't sign up for this job just to sign up and carry the title.
Mm-hmm.
I ran because I really want to make a difference. And the only way we're going to make a difference is that we're very sincere about it. And sometimes we're exhausted, Lisa. I mean, like literally exhausted.
Yes.
And you be like, oh man, I don't want to deal with this anymore. And I tell my team, I say, when you get to that moment, take a break, regroup, and then get back on the train again.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so I do enjoy this Facebook Live. I think it does not just for the people, but it also does much more for me as a person. And so, and I just want to thank people that embrace the Facebook Live, because when I kicked this off during the transition, I was like, I wonder if anybody would just tune in and listen to me talk. And I was like, well, you know what? I'll just keep doing it.
Yeah, well, it does make a difference. And, you're right on track with really reflecting what it has done for everybody, because of I think people who have been sick, been in the hospital, they've been cut off from their families. So anytime they can connect through media, through Zoom, through anything like that, they literally, this is a lifeline. And so you are right on track with doing this, whether people are tuned in live or they come back and watch it. It makes a difference, so that for many people, just being able to get the information you provide, because you are just a hustler. You are out there getting things not just done in the hookup, but you're telling us about where we can go and get tested, where we can get masked. You're telling, and what I think I love that is so precious, no matter what time of the day it is or the week, you're making sure to check on the children. You're checking on, the family. And I think what you've done, that many areas have done, which is so important, is really not forget about our elderly. And that touches my heart, especially being a caregiver of someone who, was elderly, who brought me here. And so it means a lot to not forget where you come from. So you've touched hearts and made sure that our elderly are still eating who can't get out. And you've made sure that our children are writing poems and sending them to you. And you took the time to read them.
We see some really nice poems too.
Yes, yes.
Wow, laughing at a few of them, but it was just really cute. Yeah, thank you so much. I mean, of course, my story around elderly. I'm a social worker by degree, and geriatric is my specialty in my field. And it was actually my first job out of college, and I worked in a nursing home. And my parents were the one that actually brought me back to New Orleans. I lost my grandparents. I'm very blessed to still have my parents. But I don't forget where I come from. I try not to. It's hard. But I've learned since I've been in office, because we're so distracted by so many things
Yeah.
that take you off track because of influences, because of the title, because of the position.
Mm-hmm.
And I try to stay just really candid and simple. I live a very simple life, Lisa. You know, and you could ask my kids, like, you know, when I get home, I'm in my PJs. That's the first thing. And you know, I do my Facebook Live in PJs, right? Have you noticed that?
We noticed that there's a nice little
Okay.
shadow around you, and this, like, she looks really comfortable.
Yes. Yes.
So, hey, we have no problems with that as long as we don't have the bloopers where we get up and say, "Oops." We've seen those nationwide now, because everybody's learning how to Zoom. But you know, on that note, you know, being just an everyday person, you've also had to take the challenge of school being closed because you are a mother of not one or two. You know, tell everybody you have a large family and you are always a mama.
Yeah, that's right.
So
So
how
I have
has that been?
six kids.
Okay.
One is happily married. Well, and then two is happily married. One of them that's married is still in college. So she's been online with her college degree. And then I have one that is a high school, and then the triplets are in 5th grade.
Wow.
And it's been a challenge. And let me just say this. At the beginning of the COVID-19, I had to sit my kids down and say, okay, boys, mom cannot be there every single second. And my kids know that when I decide to run, when I raise my right hand to accept my job in front of thousands of people, if not millions of people. And by the way, 2 years ago from yesterday, May 7th, from tomorrow, it'll be our 2-year. And I'll talk about that in a minute. So my kids, since that day, we have, as a family, that when mom has an emergency, if the city has an emergency, mom is not going to be able to be full-time mom. And we talked about it as a family. And so when COVID-19 kicked in, and when I got news that Lake Forest Charter is going to be closed, the first thing I was like, oh, Lord have mercy, I'm going to be stuck with these kids. What am I going to do?
Right.
Right? Like every parent did, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
Every parent,
hands went up.
God, what are we going to do? I did the same thing, had a couple of glasses of wine to kind of clear my mind on reference to how we're going to handle this. So I'm very blessed to have wonderful daughters. So my oldest daughter is 26 years old, and my second oldest daughter is 20 years old. And then I have Shauna, who's 15 years old. And so they're like, Mom, we're going to help you out. I'm like, what? So we are going to help you out.
Beautiful.
And so the first week of COVID-19, my oldest daughter kept the triplets. Shauna, my 15-year-old, is like super responsible. You know, sometimes she requires some nudging and reminding. And I'm looking over there because she's standing to my right. And she's a sophomore at Ben, and I would have to nudge her to kind of keep her, but she's responsible. So that helps greatly.
Yes.
But the triplets was one, like, you know, they're still young.
Sure.
And so my oldest is like, Mom, I would take care of the triplets. Because I really didn't know what was happening with the city.
That's what I was definitely going to say. I'm sure. What was the thought process of the city council when you all were learning, like everybody else, you know, that something was coming our way, and what was the impact potentially going to be?
Yeah, of course. I mean, we were just like shocked. What I did was, in my natural self, like, okay, and I shared this with one of my friends last night. Lisa, I came over to America when I was 5 years old. I don't know if I've ever shared the story with you, but we were on a boat for days. My mother was pregnant with my little brother. There was no food on the boat. If there was any, there was barely any. And I still remember my dad was saying, you know, we had to share a bowl of noodles. So if you had noodles before, you know that bowl is not very large.
Right.
And that immediately hit me when I heard about COVID-19, and I heard about all the people that's going to lose their job. Lisa, I was like, I cannot allow my families in my district to starve. And that moment on that boat as a 5-year-old kid, it just came back to me right away. And that's why I said, you know what? I can't sit here and wonder what's going to happen. I got to start putting into action, because family is going to need food.
Yeah.
And I also remember when we were on the boat, when we didn't have the proper nutrition, my little sister got sick. We almost lost Lorna coming over to America because we were so malnourished. And that was another fear that came to my mind, was like, I don't want people to die because we're in America.
Right.
You know, there's no such thing. I mean, it's horrible to even hear that people are dying because there's no food in America.
Right.
You know, and so because of that, I didn't sit in City Hall, didn't sit at home panicking, worrying about what's going to happen and talk about what we can't really control. Just started putting into action. So that's why the first week my team was at the food pantry at Given Hope, and basically wanted to learn how the system worked. In my line of work is that if you don't know the players at the table, then you don't know how to connect. So I had to learn all the players in the food business. And this is, it's not new, but it was new to the point where I had to build up relationship. Because prior to this, I didn't have to set up a food pantry as a city council. So that was not the line of work that we do. But when COVID-19 kicked in, you know, it was something that I had to do to make sure that our families in our district, or the people in the city of New Orleans, will have access to food. And so we just started putting in place, you know, food distributing, meal distributing, different locations in the East, in the L9, to make sure that people are not going to starve. And that's got me going. And that's, again, just that moment of being on the boat with thousands of people crying, moaning and groaning because of don't have access to food. I did not want to see that here in my district.
Well, you know, that type of motivation is what I believe has kicked in different ways for many people, because what has happened across this world has just been not anything like anything anybody has seen, unless you're over 100. You know, you just have not seen anything like this. And so this has unprecedented to take over an entire world, literally with the same effect. And so everyone has jumped into survival mode, learning mode. Into what I love is, of course, the creativity that has come out of it has been phenomenal. Being online and utilizing technology has opened the doors for so many people, connected people, almost like Katrina has gotten people to do things that they never would have done. And it has started, you know, new careers, new lives, new experiences. So there's always the sweet out of the bitter, but this has been one that has been unprecedented. So, you know, everyone, again, we want to let you know that we're speaking to Councilwoman Cyndi Nguyen of District E, and she is everywhere, just what that E means, because she is proving that you can really take one day at a time and be several places and show people your face and show them your heart. And Cyndi, you really are showing people that you care, and people see it. They comment on it. And so we want to make sure before we get off that we tell people how to connect to Facebook and how they can reach you, because you are very transparent. We know you're going to give them the cell phone number.
Oh, yeah. And I John cringe when I give out my cell phone number, but Lisa, thank you so much for having me. If I don't know how long I have, but I just wanted to share a couple things. Tomorrow is going to mark my 2 year in office. So that's May 7th. And I will be releasing, last year when I made 1 year, I asked people to give me a report card to evaluate me.
Okay.
And so tomorrow I'm also going to be sending out an evaluation. I want you guys to evaluate me in reference to where can I do better at.
Okay.
Or, you know, what do you like, what you didn't like, and what areas that you feel like I need to focus on? Because I feel like there's always room for improvement. I'm at the table. I'm not going anywhere. I want to have dinner with everybody, but I can't have dinner with people if people are not willing to share with me.
Yeah.
And so that's why we want to put out the survey. So that's going to be out tomorrow for our 2nd year anniversary. And I'm really proud and humbled to serve this district. Just the COVID-19 for the past 6 weeks, I've meet more people, amazing people in my district, and it's unbelievable. I hear good story, bad story, but every story has a connection.
Yes.
I want to thank people for opening their home, opening their heart to me as well.
And I wanted to ask you that. What does it mean to you? First of all, how have you changed over these weeks? And then what does it mean to you to hear from people, because I hear the stories. And when someone says they've lost someone and maybe you knew them, or if you, even if you didn't, the fact that they're a part of District E and the fact that they shared it, what does that do for you in that moment?
Yeah, I have this, and I reflect every night, Lisa. And I'm just that kind of person. I've noticed that I was at the beginning was very short tempered because I was tired. But then I've realized that I need to change that, and so I'm more patient. Of course, hopefully I'm more patient all the time, but it depends on days.
Sure.
Uh, I've noticed that, and I've also confirmed that I do really love the seniors because I have made so many home deliveries to senior. Like if they call up and say, I'm a senior, I can't get out. I say, okay, what you need, Miss Jones? What's your address?
I'm
I'm
on my
there.
way.
I'm on my way. And so, and it's, I think for the past 7 weeks, it's also reconfirming my commitment to the district as well. Because many times when you do something, you kind of do it just because out of the flow of work.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm enjoying it. I am, not that I enjoy the fact that COVID-19 is here, but just going, doing it. I love it. That's why I wake up every morning really refreshed.
Mm-hmm.
And then I've also learned about not to push myself too hard. So I haven't really shared this much. And Shauna's looking at me and she's pointing the finger at me and doing shame on you, mama. But 3 weeks ago, I was actually admitted to the hospital. Not a lot of people know this. I was dehydrated. My blood count was low. And so I had to be in the hospital overnight. And it allowed me to really reflect.
Okay.
And people say this, Cyndi, you got to take care of yourself because we want you to be around. And I'm very grateful to hear that. And I know what it means. And I don't want to go, you know. I want to be here to help the community as much as I can. And so it also taught me a lesson in reference to, you know, where my commitment is there. I don't need to keep pushing myself, but I need to work smart. So I think working smart is something that I've been doing ever since I've left the hospital several weeks ago. It's working smart.
That's
and
good.
how to be strategic about it and how to plan stuff. I've always been a planner, but when COVID-19 came out, we were just running really fast.
Yes.
And then, you know, of course, landed in the hospital. Then it kind of allowed me to say, okay, I got to get back to the planning. So that way I could work smart in that area. But yeah. So Facebook Live is every Sunday, every day from Sunday till Friday at 7 p.m. We're on it. I'm on it for 30 minutes. Sometimes I'm on it for an hour. Sometimes I'm on it for 2 hours. It all depends on the issue at hand. And it also serves as a way of just supporting each other, you know. And so I hope that the Facebook Live have helped others. I know the Facebook Live has helped me personally, Lisa. And I'm going to continue to do that. We're kind of monitoring the stay-at-home mandate and see what happened, but I probably will continue to do this until end of May, just to kind of get everybody through the hump.
And how can everyone stay in touch with you?
Yeah, they can, of course, stay in touch with me by Facebook Live at 7 p.m. And my Facebook page is Councilwoman Cyndi Nguyen, or you could directly text me at 504-415-4905. I would highly recommend you to text me. Just say, hey, Cyndi, this is so-and-so. When you get a chance, can you give me a call back? And I will call you back. Yes. If not, you can always shoot me an email. If it's a long issue, particularly around quality of life, I would encourage you to email me at Cyndi, CYNDI.Nguyen, NGUYEN, at NOLA.gov. Many people messenger me about quality of life issue. And so I ask that you guys email me directly, because you guys know as a city council member, we don't actually go out and cut the grass. We don't go out and pick up the trash can. We don't go out and fix the sidewalk. We have to forward that issue to other departments. So it makes it easier when you email it to me, so I can forward to DPW or to the appropriate department so they can handle it. And so that's why I ask people to email us.
Well, we're going to definitely put that on the screen so everybody can see that as well when they watch this again. But I also want to add that you have taken the time to even address the homeless issue. You've addressed the big thing, I think, about New Orleans East and other areas, lower nine, is the return of businesses. And so I do
Yep.
know that that is important to you as well. I know that we still have a Hard Rock Cafe issue as a city to deal with. And I know that there's so much going on, and hopefully we can get back together and share more information again with everyone. But we just want to highlight that because COVID-19 has taken the front seat right now, but does not mean that you're not aware or even addressing as a city council or a city councilwoman those other areas that are everybody's concern. Still, we have other issues that still need to be taken care of, and we still have to now figure out how to survive and come from under all of this that we are dealing with. And so we want to say that, we appreciate you, and also that this is a special week because, my goodness, this has been Teacher Appreciation Week. We had Cinco de Mayo, and we got to say that this was your birthday week.
Yep, May 50 on Monday.
So happy birthday.
Thank you. I've been doing 50 minutes wherever I'm at.
All right. Well, that's not a bad idea.
Yes, 50 minutes, guy. If you don't show up after that, I'm leaving.
You're leaving. Hey, you earn that when you get that age.
And then we also have the testing site this week too, Lisa. So we're going to Franklin Avenue Baptist Church on Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. So for those that want to get tested for COVID-19, please be out there. My office will be out there as well, just to connect with residents if they have any specific issues or concern. We have Mother's Day weekend too.
Yes, absolutely. And
we're issuing out Mother's Day brunch meal bag.
Okay.
Yeah, so we'll be passing out 400 Mother's Day brunch. And what does that mean? That I'm giving the kids the ingredient to make mom a brunch on Sunday. So what mom likes to eat is grits, eggs, pancakes. I can't give them the mimosa, but I'm going to provide orange juice. Mom's going to have to come up with the champagne because I am a mimosa. Yeah, and then bread. We got dinner roll, and then we got some of our partners donating, like Integer's donating energy smart light bulbs for moms. We got all sorts of treats because Mother's Day is also a very special holiday, and I wanted people to have stuff to do at home because the stay at home is still in place.
Yes.
And encourage people to do this at home. Do not go anywhere.
Right.
And so that's why we're doing this, to remind people that you can still celebrate mom, and you can be at home, protect yourself, protect the public, and then, help flatten the curve.
Yes. And I believe it's definitely working. And so we need to continue doing this. Two more things, I think, because we could go on. I'm having a great time. But I do want to, as a part of speaking with you, I'm trying to start a message of hope from anybody that I can speak to, so that anybody who hears what you or anyone has to say can go back and look on it and be motivated and encouraged that they're not alone. So what would be your message of hope for anyone dealing with what we are, and for what the future can hold?
Yeah, I think really simple. As a humankind, we don't give up. We just don't give up. I think also what I've learned for the past few weeks, even more so, is that we are a community. We're going to help each other. We've been there for each other. We may not know each other, but we always come to the table to help our community. So just don't give up, And I know a lot of families have lost people with COVID-19. And it's hard. I've lost many good friends for the past few weeks. And what I have learned is that, if Ed West was here with me, Ed would say, Cyndi, don't give up. I was just at the wrong place at the wrong time. Or it was my time that I had to go.
Yeah.
Or Andrew, Christian's husband, would say, just, all I need to do is to take care of my girl. I'm in a safe place. I was at the wrong place at the wrong time. So those are the stuff that I hear all the time from people that I've lost. And I think it gives me the energy to continue. And so I guess just to wrap it up, it's just don't give up.
Yes.
we've gone through as different challenges in our community. 15 years ago, Hurricane Katrina came and wiped literally the city of New Orleans out. We were able to get back on our feet. And I know that with this COVID-19, we will.
Mm-hmm.
It's a little different fight that we're fighting because you can't really see what you're fighting.
Yeah.
And I think if everybody would just be mindful and follow the rules and help flatten the curve, I think we will come out really strong. But just don't give up.
Yeah. Thank you so much for that. I agree 100%. And, this Focus podcast, faith over circumstances, uncovering success is what Focus means to me out of this. And so I do believe as a family, as a city, we can definitely do that, doing everything you've said and continuing to know that we can survive because we already have, and we can continue to do that no matter what the circumstances are. But, one thing I do want to say is that we appreciate you. We are thrilled about your passion, about your transparency, your fight, your dedication. And so, we definitely want you to stay well and stay safe and stay well and stay safe. I will say it again for you. And, we appreciate you being here for us. And so we know that together we can be available for each other. So I think that I could go on, but just thank you for providing the mask, the food, the family, the fun, everything. And just, giving us a part of your heart makes us understand, where you're coming from and what you want best for everybody. So once again, we appreciate you, your city Councilwoman Cyndi Nguyen.
Lisa, thank you so much for having me.
Pleasure.
And when this is all done, we'll go out for happy hours.
Hey, I'm happy. All right, everybody. Well, thanks for listening, and tune in again and watch this many times and share it so that we can look back and remember great times. And we look forward to joining you again. So this is the Focus Podcast with Singinlisa.